What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Um, before I go further, watch there's going to be people in this video in the comments. They're going to be arguing about why player A is greater than West or player B when that's not even what I'm really talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen. I know it, but it is what it is. But in this video, I want to talk about why I think Jerry West is the greatest Laker of all time, not the greatest Laker player. He's the greatest Laker. Now, in his own right, he was a great player. He's top five-ish. I mean, who's greater? Just Magic, Kobe, Kareem, I guess, Shaq. You know, um, I guess you could say Mikey, but Mikey played so long ago. But still, he brought five titles to the team. So I guess you could argue he's greater. But Jerry West is right there. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they ever built a statue for Jerry West, right? Um, but even his NBA career, 25,000 career points, 27 points per game average, all around player, great rebounding, shooting guard, great facilitator, led the league in scoring. When he was getting older as a player, won a championship, appeared in 9 NBA finals, multiple time All Star. If the award had existed when he played, he would have been on multiple All Defensive first teams and some second teams. Uh, you know, and just a great all around basketball player. Um, has one of the highest career scoring averages in playoff history, over 29 points a game. At one point, he was seen as the greatest guard in history before Jordan. Um, he still holds the record for the highest scoring average in a playoff series. I believe it's over 46 points a game, established in 1965, I think, against the then Baltimore Bullets. So this is a great, great basketball player. But what adds to his lore is what he did after his playing career. Jack Kent Cooke, who was the owner of the Lakers, and also he used to be the owner of the now Washington football team, noticed that Jerry West had an eye for talent, right? So he hired Jerry West as a head coach. Jerry West coached the Lakers for a couple of years in the mid 70s when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was there, pretty much their lone star. They lacked that secondary star, explosive player or that secondary dominant player to put them on the map. But even in those years when they were supposedly mediocre, he led them to the playoffs, I think, something like 3 consecutive years, and they had a winning record. Then, after his coaching career, his coaching stint was over, he became a scout. Now, this is where Jerry West began to really help aid the organization. Um, I think it, I think it was around 1980ish, after their coach had suffered a terrible accident, bicycle accident, hit his head. He was, almost died, and they needed a coach. And I think it was Jerry West that was supposed to come back and coach the team, but he declined. He instead told the team, I don't want to coach. He recommended Pat Riley. Pat Riley became the head coach, and the rest is history. So Jerry West helped pave the way for the coaching career of Pat Riley, and we saw how he has gone on and blossomed since then. Then Jerry West became the general manager of the Lakers in the mid 80s, and it was Jerry West, one of the first moves that he initiated, which wasn't popular at the time. Jerry West was the one that traded away Norm Nixon, and I think it was Eddie Jordan to the Clippers. I think they were still the San Diego Clippers at the time. This wasn't a very popular move. Norm Nixon was very popular with Laker fans and with some of the players. But it was a great basketball move because even though Norm Nixon was a great point guard, it was problematic having two ball dominant players in the backcourt like that. And Magic was more. Uh, he's becoming increasingly more ball dominant because of his advantages of being such a big guy, being able to run the point. And Norm Nixon wasn't as great off the ball as he was with the ball. So it was a great trade because then they got uh, in the draft Byron Scott, who was a natural fit. As I mentioned this in the videos I did talking about the great backcourt, he was a great fit for a guy like Magic Johnson. Athletic, he was bigger, faster, running the fast breaks. He could, get easy layups and dunks. You know, just great transition buckets, and he was a great three-point shooter. I mentioned between 1983 and 1991, which is the heart of their tenure together, not that abbreviated stint in '96. Byron Scott shot 38% from three, which is ridiculous. That was like Steph Curry, like back in the '80s. So that was a great move. Another move that he made that doesn't get a lot of recognition is when he traded away Frank Bukowski for Michael Thompson, who was, of course, the father of Klay Thompson. Now, Michael Thompson isn't a superstar, but he was a pivotal player on those Lakers teams in the late '80s that won back-to-back titles, and Michael Thompson was big in that time period because Jerry West recognized that uh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was getting older, and he needed someone who could kind of deal more with the grind of the physical play down stuff and down lows and rebounding and aid a little bit more in scoring as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was seriously beginning to deteriorate after 1987. The next big move that he made, of course, was stealing away Shaquille O'Neal from the Lakers. Okay, he stole Shaquille O'Neal away from the Lakers, or excuse me, from the Orlando Magic. I meant to say he stole Shaquille O'Neal away from the Magic. The Magic just blew that. They completely blew that re-signing. Okay, but he stole Shaq away. That was the coup of the decade when Shaq left Orlando to go to Lakers. Then on top of that, on draft day, he traded Vlade Divac, who was very popular at that time. If you remember back then, he was a very popular player with the Lakers, for this young kid named, what was his name? Kubi? Kubi? What's his name? Kubi? No, but I'm just being funny. That's how people were back then. You traded away Vlade for this kid? Kobe Bryant? What the fuck is. Hey, the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? Uh, then, of course, because a couple years later, there was a glut at the shooting guard position. They needed a guard who was a better fit, or a player, I should say, that was a better fit playing with Kobe. They traded Eddie Jones essentially for Glenn Rice. Now, Glenn didn't fit in that great, but he was a better fit than Eddie Jones was, and that led to a championship. Then, of course, there's the move that is iffy. Now, some people say it wasn't Jerry West. I say it was. Jerry said that, oh, it really. Look, Jerry West gave the Lakers a gift. Essentially, he traded Kwame Brown for Pau Gasol. I'm not knocking Kwame, so he's made a great transition to being a significant social media influencer. He's done great, last couple of months, man. But come on, we know the NBA, man. That's not an even trade. So that was a coup for the Lakers and Pau Gasol. Well, Pau Gasol too, because he left Memphis and went to a great team, and they won 2 championships. So what I'm saying is, when you look at it, Jerry West, even though he only went 1-8 in the finals, Jerry West had a hand in every subsequent Laker championship, with the exception of the one they just had. Every championship in the 80s, the Kobe Shaq era, the Kobe Gasol era, Jerry West had a hand in all of those championships. Not to mention, after he retired as general manager of the Memphis Grizzlies, he became a member of the executive board of the Golden State Warriors in 2011. And then look what happened to that franchise after he came aboard there. And then, not to mention, after that, in 2017, he joined as an executive member of the Clippers when everybody thought the Clippers were just horrible. And look what's going on with that organization. Look at the renaissance with them. I'm telling you, Jerry West is one of the underrated individuals in basketball lore. He's the greatest executive in history. And when you combine what he did as an executive with what he did as a player with the Lakers, he's the greatest Laker, in my opinion. I don't think as much now as a basketball player, no, but overall, I think he's the greatest Laker. But tell me what you guys think.